What's going on, car guys and car gals? It's Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
Fred Lenart, subprime hero.
And we are brewing solutions live on the Car Guy Coffee podcast. Excited to be having some fun with this young looking fella over here. Check out this guy. Man, look at you.
It's starting to come back a little bit. You're starting to see all the white little dots on my face, but no, it does. It feels different to have a fresh feel, right? A fresh new day. And sometimes we all need that. I'm going to encourage you all. Like, I'm not saying shave your beard. I'm just saying sometimes make a shift in life and you'll find that it's fun. Maybe you'll go back to what you've done before, but if you don't try, you never know. It's been a long time since I've seen this old face. And man, actually I feel a little younger with the face. I went out and played basketball yesterday with you, Lou, and my knees are feeling it today, but thankful that I got a chance to do that.
Well, one thing that you're blessed to have, just like many customers out there are blessed to have, and many of those that are in the market for anything are blessed to have, it's options. You're blessed to have options.
Yeah.
Right? Man, if I wanted to grow one,
I know. I might just grow. Maybe I'll just because I have options. I can do a mustache, goatee,
nothing's really coming in.
Beard.
I don't even have that option. You're blessed to have that option, brother. High five for that.
High five
for those that have the option out there to grow the beard. For those of you that can't, just enjoy and embrace the razor. As it's your friend, take care of your skin, moisturize regularly, but it's always good to make sure that you do have a fresh cut. A fresh cut, a fresh approach, a fresh new grind, a fresh brew. And today we have a fresh brew for you.
Yes, we do.
And we want to make sure that your cups are locked and loaded to get sipping on solutions here on the show. So do what it is that you got to do. And let's get loud and proud and tag a car guy
and tag a car gal and share.
Get the message out there, everybody. We have an incredible solutionary that is ready to brew some solutions for you, and you got to get your cups out because this is going to be piping hot.
Get some people in here.
Something you need to be
get some folks in here. Hey, folks, but I want to remind you, here in a couple weeks, NIADA, the National Independent Automotive Dealers Association, they're having their event. They're having their annual conference, Accelerate. It's going to be in Las Vegas at the Wynn from the 19th through the 22nd. I recommend you come out there. If you're an independent dealer, be there. I tell you, it's going to change your life. You'll meet a lot of great people, but you have great opportunities. Matter of fact, Lou and we got something going on over there. I just want to throw a little sneak peek at that for you guys. Make sure you guys show up and come check us out. That's right. Watch your language. It matters. Listen, it's not just about how we speak to our customers, because it is, but it's how we speak to each other inside the dealerships, how we speak to each other as a leader down with our employees back up to our leadership, how we speak to our families while we're at home.
And you know what else?
What's that?
How you speak to yourself.
That's more importantly, yourself. That's where it all starts at the end of the day, right? And then as you start to spread that out and you pay attention to what you say and how you say it, you'll find that people listen to what you say. And then if you listen to what they say, things work out really good. It's all about that language. So watch it. All right, so let's go. Let's get ready to introduce somebody that we've been excited to have on the show. You guys see the name kind of right below Lou right there. You kind of see it peeking out right now. But this man, we got introduced through our good friend of ours, Eric Barbosa. Thank you, Eric. He was like, hey, Fred, I got somebody awesome that needs to be on your show. And I was like, man, and if Eric says it, I got to hear what he has to say. You got to
listen to Eric.
So Eric's like, boom, my man Zach, and he goes, this dude's a rising star. So immediately I said, yep. So I checked him out on social. He is not just a rising star, he's been doing it. So it's, he's somebody that I think that a lot of people in my network have maybe never heard of yet. But I can tell you, you've heard of the auto group he's with. It's the Cavender Auto Group. Phenomenal auto group, doing some major things from people that have recently been joined, to include somebody new. I think just today made an announcement. They're there at the Jaguar store, I think, or something like that. Oh my God. And we just interviewed him just the other day, and I will talk about that sure as we go. But man, great opportunities, great auto group, great people. And it all starts with the one, the only Zac Hale. What's up, bro?
What's going on, guys?
Hey, we are excited that you are here.
That's right, bro.
Make welcome, everybody. Go ahead and put your coffee cup emojis inside of the comments. Clap it up. And what's going on, Brian Ortega? Welcome to the party.
Yo.
We're so excited that each and every one of you are here. But welcome, Zach. We're so excited to have you on the show. This is going to be a blast.
Yeah, man, I'm ready. Let's go.
Well, now that he's been introduced, now that he's here, everybody, this is the part where we try to make sure that we go ahead and we just start grinding out and we get to the grit. We get to the fun stuff. But in order to do that, we got to learn how to keep growing, everybody. We got to shout it loud and proud and make sure that Zach is as CGC approved as we believe he is, and I believe this 5-liner is going to help just prove that even more. But let's go ahead and get together those F-bombs that don't offend the moms. Let's forgive, focus, and let's fly together, everybody. On 3, Zach, practice these moves with us.
Yo.
Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Forgive. Focus. Fly. And keep growing.
Here we go.
My man,
Here we go.
dude.
Now
Appreciate
we're ready to
you.
fly.
Now you're ready to come join us on this 5
All right.
line. We're excited to have you on the show. Zach, welcome.
Thank you.
Brother, what's up, man?
Man, just coming off a great month with just so many positives all the way around, and numbers and culture and customer experience, and super excited for what we're doing here with the team and the community, and just all the way around, man. It's just so much good going on. So much good.
Oh, man, I love that you're looking into your gratitude, because, we can all get into pity parties about what's going on in this world and the economy and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, it's what we have in front of us. Focus on that. One person at a time, one moment at a time. And, man, it sounds like you're doing that really well. I love your mentality. I'm glad you're in the seat you're sitting in because you have that type of mentality, because it all trickles down. It starts with the top. So anyway, a lot of questions we want to ask you. Actually, it's 5. So that's why we call this the 5-liner.
Hello.
Right, Lou? So, Lou, what you thinking, brother?
Well, one thing that I am thinking, everybody, is have read through the air quotes on the economy, right? And how it is that funny that when you think of the different words or phrases or circumstances
Excuses,
or challenges or excuses or hurdles or challenges, whatever it is, some people call them problems, some people call them concerns, whatever that falls into, right? Whatever the big bad giant or the enemy is, there's people like you, right, that are able to step up, gather a troop, gather a tribe, gather a community, and be able to charge forward towards the hill and say, it doesn't matter what the challenges are, we still have to succeed.
That's right.
Success
100%.
is the answer that we're all here for. And no matter what the challenge is, we unite as solutionaries that find the solutions to the problems. So whatever it is, right, that comes out, it just falls into being quotes, and it's just another word. It's just another enemy.
And to your point, Lou, you're right.
Don't be afraid.
Don't. That's it. What he's saying is so right. What you can put anything in these 2 quotes.
Right.
We can talk about the last 2 decades that I've been in this industry. I could tell you there's a lot of things I can put in between these 2 things here. But we've always worked through that. We found ways to overcome and adapt. I love that. I think it's beyond car guys. I think that's being a solutionary, because if there was nothing for us to overcome, then what are we really doing? Everyone could do it. Right. And that's the thing. I believe that most people, actually, I do believe everyone can do this job if they're with the right people, right, in the right environment. But I do believe that there's certain people that excel at this job. Right. And it is people like you, Zach. So, and these are why these 5 questions are important, why we ask these 5 questions.
Yeah.
The very first one, it drops right off. It hits right at home. It's Simon Sinek says it itself. It all starts with the why. So that's why I start with this. Your why, Zach. What gets you going? What makes you say, you know what? Not only do I want to take care of myself, but I want to make sure that the army, the team of people we have over here at Cavender at the Chevy store, I want to make sure they're doing well. I want to make sure my family's doing well. And now I'm reaching beyond. I want to make sure the automotive industry is doing well. So tell me a little bit about your why.
Man, there's so many of them. Deep in the heart, it starts with my family, my fiance. I've got a 9-year-old daughter, and setting an example, for them and the possibilities. And personally, I started out a super crazy life. We knew how to turn the water on when the city came and cut it off. It's just crazy. Just grew up in really tough environments and a lot of poverty. And I saw a lot of situations that I never wanted to experience as I got older. Right. And it was such a driving force. I've got a brother that's, been in and out of prison and all these things. And I watched a lot of mistakes that I didn't want to make. And so from the personal side of it, it's that fear of being average, I think is kind of what lives with me. Is I don't ever want to be considered that. You look around, you look in these houses on the hills, you see all these things these people have, and we all have the same opportunity. And so it's just that constant competitiveness, that comparison of, man, if that guy can do it, It doesn't matter his situation. He could have been given the money, but you can be given $1 million and blow it in 6 months. It doesn't matter where you come from, what you do. So reminding myself that and remembering where I came from, how far I want to achieve from that. And then, really pushing that to the team. I have teams that grew up in great situations, people that didn't, all over. But at the end of the day, we all have got to push, and we all have to push to see what are we capable of. What can we do? What is our limit? And when you reach that limit, finding a new one. So there's that aspect of it. And then the customer side of it, man, like this business to me, and you kind of said it, it's so simple. It truly is so simple. We deal with a product that people have to have, that people need, transportation. And forever, dealers were kind of at the mercy of customers. And then COVID hit and dealers had a lot of control. And I think what I saw happen over the COVID time is a lot of dealers started playing the finite game and not the infinite game. Right. And they got and you got insane add-ons and all of these things that they did because they could, but they were thinking of how much money are we going to make this month, or what are we going to do? They weren't thinking of what's that customer feel like? How's that customer going to remember this experience? Just because they bought a car from you then and they had a bad experience, don't think just because they bought the car they're going to come back to you.
Oh yeah.
And so we have such a negative stigma. I've heard Glenn Lundy talk about it forever. Such a negative stigma in this business, but while that is the curse, it's also the opportunity. It's not that hard to stand out. Like if you look at everything from a customer perspective, that's the thing. And so I think, to me, I imagine someone, a big why for me, someone walking into the dealership, can we remove the anxiety they have? Can we get them comfortable? Can we be that place? And yeah, man, there's so many of them, but those are kind of the top ones that come to mind.
Brother, I love what you said there when you said, it's easy to stand out because there is a lot of the other, right? There's a great opportunity. And that's the thing, folks. Just because we're in a place that's bad, that doesn't mean that it can't get better. Matter of fact, when the room for improvement is that vast, there's a huge opportunity for a lot of us. Zach, you're right on the pulse, man. And I love Glenn Lundy. He's a great friend of ours too. I consider him a mentor also, and just little things that he said to me over the years that really opened my eyes up to things, and things that he's done that makes me go, I could do that. Wow, let's go. Right. And his point in our mission is very similar. We want to make the perspective of what automotive is different. Yeah. So we want to bring in people into this industry that would normally go a different direction, because we want to show them that people like you are in this industry, people like Glenn, people like Lou, people like so many that we've been able to interview. I can name, a handful of people that work for you. I can name a handful of people that work for all kinds of different auto groups that are doing well, but that's just a handful of auto groups. There's over 17,000 franchises alone in the United States. And then when you talk about independent stores, I don't even know the number. It's massive. Yeah. Right. So it's a big spread of people that we can really help get better. There's not enough of us trying. I think a lot of us are saying, "Oh, we used to do it this way. It could still work." Well, it can, but when you're really talking about longevity, that customer, you may sell them once.
Yep,
that's it. They're not coming back. They're there because they had to be. But now they're like, I'm gonna fix my credit or whatever the situation is, or I'm gonna, next time I get a chance to, when this market changes, I'm going somewhere else.
Yeah,
right. That's the way it goes. And now with people in dealerships all across the country that are willing to deliver cars to your doorstep, you could be in California, they'll be all the way in Florida, and they'll bring it to you.
Yeah,
and they'll make it very cost effective for you too. So there's the services out there for everybody. So if you want to be your local dealer and make sure your neighbors and everybody in that area buys from you, you better be ready and be going at it. So I love your why, bro. It's great stuff.
Yeah, man. No, it's and that's the thing you kind of touched on it too, is not only how it changes the life of our customers, but our employees. I can't tell you the number of stories of somebody that, was a server that I had a great experience with and asked the dude, come sell cars. And, they've got, $10, $15, $20,000 in credit card debt. And we talk about it and then boom, that's paid off in, 5-6 months or whatever it may be, just that they thought forever there was no way. And now, I love the stories of like the people that grew up super tough and they're taking their parents on these like lifetime trips and really doing it the other way, where a lot of people think, oh, well, parents are going to be the one, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. But man, it's just these stories. It's so motivating to see how the circumstances we think that we're in and the opportunities we think we have, how we can really push the envelope and we can really change that. We can challenge it and just do things that are so different, man. It's just, I don't know. There is no cap because it is an infinite game, right? There's no cap on it. Like it's just whatever we want to do, set our mind to it, and we can figure it out.
Yeah, literally no cap.
No cap.
Yep.
But and there's something that's inside of the heart of those that are rising up to make it happen.
Yeah.
Right now, make it happen. That is occurring. Mapping. Jose Taylor over in Michigan shouting out, be a solutionary, not a salesperson.
My man.
Amen, brother, over at Rainbow Motors is an incredible example of what it looks like to be young and excited and grab a hold of the awesome opportunity that there is inside of automotive. And let's be clear, everybody. If we wanted to make a statement out there, it's simply that we're not just trying to make an impact on an industry. We're not. Actually, let's be clear. I'm not trying to make an impact on the industry. We're not trying to make an impact on an industry. We're here to transform it. We are here to see it completely changed. Okay. We are here to show a generation that they have the chance to take this torch and now completely rearrange what it looks like for the future forward. And we're thankful that we get the chance to even still have our hand on it because it's transforming right before our eyes. Even the technology, folks.
Yeah.
I hope you're listening. Even the technology is changing. It's not even the same kind of motor car that it used to be anymore. Everything is changing. And now we are setting a new standard that, yes, Jose, you're not a salesperson. You are a solutionary. Not everybody's going to jump inside of sales, but everybody can find their way to the land of solutions. Everybody can be a solutionary. And inside of our path to where we are, it got us to automotive.
That's right. And
you, Zach, have found your way as a solutionary long before you've done anything else, brother. There's a heartbeat. There's something that's inside of you that naturally wants to find the solution to the problem, and you connect those dots. But what brought you to automotive?
And so I was an athlete my whole life, and I went to college just to play sports. Had no idea what I wanted to do. Thought I wanted to be maybe a teacher, coach type deal, something like that. And one summer I saw an ad to work at a nutrition shop, and I was like, okay, well, that might be fun. Well, I got there, I had no idea it was a multi-level marketing deal for Herbalife. I had no clue. So I go in, and next thing you know, I'm like signing up companies for weight loss challenges. Like it's just all this. Well, the owner of that company, his son-in-law owned a roofing company. And in summertime, he's like, hey, we got an opportunity. We need salespeople. It's a good opportunity to go make some money. So I went and did that. It was my sophomore year of college. I'd torn my knee playing football and said, man, I'm 5'8". I'm not going to the Cowboys. I got to figure out what I'm going to do with my life. And so I went and did that and just started making insane money. And I was like, dude, maybe I'm like good at sales. I had no idea, but really I credited. I was driving a 95 Isuzu Rodeo in Katy, Texas, in June and July with no AC. And so I was door knocking on people's houses and I had to get inside to cool down.
Yeah.
And so anyways, I signed up more people than anyone in the company. And just, they threw out a bonus of $5,000, which was just sound like the lottery to me at that point.
That is.
So I won that. And long story short, I did that. I did some home security sales door to door. And finally driving past a dealership one day, I was like, dude, that seems so much easier. Like people are going to them. I'm interrupting people's dinners or they're feeding their baby or whatever. Like I'm making people mad because I'm knocking on their doors, and here people come to you. So I was 22 and I went and applied. I got the job, and then just, I think because the attitude of everyone, a lot of people around me were thinking about, how hard and what their challenges are. And I just had a different perspective.
Right.
Because what I was doing was way harder than what that felt like to me. And I just saw a lot of success from it quickly. And it's addictive. And you see, the growth opportunity and then growing all the way up the ladder. And so By the time I was 23, I became a sales manager. By the time I was 25, I became a GSM, and just kept pushing the envelope. I mean, it was it was crazy, but it's just that addictiveness that every month can be different, every year can be different. I mean, you never win. You never win.
Come on. That's so true.
I love that.
Never ending game.
I love that. And as Tina says, we are all so blessed to be in the business and change with it. Love what you guys are doing. Appreciate you, Tina, so much
Tina's
for joining
awesome.
us. She is, and I know when she says what you guys are doing, she's talking about you over at Cavender. You guys are just doing some amazing things. You guys are really making a change, right? And I see the shifts that you're making, and I see that where you're trying to go right now, and it's limitless. And like you said earlier in the show, the opportunities are wow. I mean, there is no cap. So that being said, great answer to that. I'm glad you got into this industry. Finding sales is big. Like, a lot of people don't realize sales isn't. It's about relationships. When you think about being good at building relationships with people, being able to understand people, have empathy, it's a superpower. And if you can do that, man, it's great. You don't have to be selfish in this. Matter of fact, don't be selfish in this business. Be all about your people in front of you, the clients that you have. When you're all about them, they pay more. They want to. They really do.
No business can exist without sales. No, name one business that can work without sales, and that's the fear so many people have, right? Is commission. I was scared to death of it, but an hourly employee is paid commission, right? That's really what they're getting paid, a commission of a percentage of what the sales are generating for the company.
Absolutely.
They're just
in that
on the
block
safety,
of time.
right?
Yeah, right. They are, but you're limited to, like, if you're an hourly employee, and no offense to anyone, I love you. I was an hourly employee, and there's a lot of my friends and family are hourly employees. But why I love commissions, and it did scare me at first, but why I love it and why I thrived in it is that I can work the same amount of hours, but the effort and then the people and if I work a little bit harder, I can make more.
Yep.
And that's, to me, I get paid for my effort, not for my time. And that's very powerful to me. So I could work, but I work a lot of hours because I believe I could get a lot of stuff done because we have a lot of time throughout the day.
But how frustrating would it be to be on a salary and getting paid the same as the guy that's slacking off next to you?
Well, that's exactly why I love commissions. If the person next to me doesn't work as hard, they don't make as much. That's just the way it works. Exactly. And it's literally, you get paid for what you do. So, anyway, that being said, we throughout our careers, I know that I've had some great mentors. I've had people that have really helped me see the light in commission, be able to help me adjust the way I think about my customers in front of me. I remember there was a time where it was all about the money for me, and then it became more about being a servant to them. Mm-hmm. And when I did that, I seemed to make a lot more money, which was great. So in your path, who have been some of your best mentors?
So there's some different ones. I'll tell you, mentors from a distance is where it kind of started with me. Yep. One was Lou Holtz. Wow. And I will tell you, because I think really one day I sat down and said, you know what, this dealership is basically like a sports team. Yeah. It really is. Like, I'm a coach. I've got, special teams, offense and defense in my different departments. And that's really what I'm managing is that. And we're just finding a way to have a consistent playbook, have a good culture, and to win. And so I watched something one day with Lou Holtz, and he's got three main things, which is always do the right thing, that builds trust, do everything to the best of your ability, that's commitment, and show people you care, and it's love, and it is that simple. And so I really started trying to make every decision that way and inspire the team to live their life the same way. And if you've never watched, it's like an hour-long YouTube video where he says that. And the other thing he says is, titles are given from above. And so whenever he was named the football coach at Notre Dame, the guy said, he said, I'm going to give you the title of head coach, but I can't name you a leader. Leadership comes from below. And so, that was really one thing, because I will say at one point as a young kid, imagine a 25-year-old GSM, right? You can obviously imagine how that can get to your head, how you can manage it. And I fell for that. And I was managing off of a title and authority, and really realized that one day and said, man, these guys are doing what I want them to do out of fear. They're not doing it because they believe in it.
Bingo.
So we really changed that. And it was a lot of accountability personally with that. It changed everything so much. All of a sudden, people, whenever I left Cavender, people calling me crying, that a year or 2 years before would have helped me pack the box. And, and so that's a big mentor for me. There's been different ones throughout. The Cavenders have been amazing mentors to me.
I guarantee it.
Fortunate experience that as G4 fourth generation was coming up through the ranks, I was one of the stores that they set alongside through their succession program, and really got to become friends with them, know them as real people, just hear everything. And I fell in love with what they believe and who they are, what they want to do. And they've been great mentors. And then here recently, Eric Barbosa, just amazing. Really a guy coming in, when someone comes into the organization, you don't know what that's going to be. And he joined us in March, and man, just talk about a level of empowerment. And one of the most powerful things he said to me, he said, "Zach, I trust you. Go do it. I trust you." And it had me think, I'm like, man, have I told my guys that? Like, do they know? Do my sales managers know if I'm not there? Make a decision. I trust you. If you mess it up, we'll fix it. But I believe in letting the horse run, and you're going to achieve way more than the mistakes and where you're going to be held back if you're so slow moving to make decisions. And that's one of the things I've really learned from Eric is the speed, the empowerment, the trust of your staff, and just going and doing your thing. And so, in my day to day, it's the Cavenders and it's Eric, and just a lot of and the other GSMs in our group. We all talk to each other, and there's so much to learn from everybody. And my sales guys, there's sales guys I learn from every day. So
that's amazing, and that is honor. I love that you put that up there. That's it is, and you talking about all those things and being able to be impacted by people. I love you talked about Lou Holtz, right? And using that. I can tell you a lot of my first major, like in recent time, like there was a lot of when I was hitting my growth spurt in my midlife, right? And for me, it was a lot of people that I didn't know, but watching and reading what they were doing, being inspired, like Glenn Lundy at first. I didn't know Glenn Lundy at first. And then when I watched him, he inspired me so much. I was like, my God, look at this guy. He's doing it. Did it in a closet. Started in a closet. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's another one on the list. You see what he's doing in Paris, Kentucky, and I'm sitting here in San Antonio, and this guy's crushing me. And I'm just like, dude, like he's doing this, and how is he doing it? And you just watched it. It was in the culture, but it was in the mindset. And I kept putting caps on myself, like, okay, our goal's 250 or whatever it might be, not even realizing I think I'm pushing myself, but I'm really putting a cap on myself. Yeah. And that was another one that was it was eye-opening. We're part of 800% elite and that's been just an amazing thing for the group as well. So
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, 800 is great. We are fortunate to be able to work with a lot of 800% members. We work with them with our training with the certified solutionaries, and we love what Glenn is talking about, but we love what a lot of people are talking about. All these people, I have the Gary Vaynerchuk's inspired me, the Grant Cardone's inspired me, you can keep Michael Jordan. Come on now, right? I've been inspired by so many different things, Jesus Christ. You think about what you want to be like and where you want to go, and that's the ultimate, right? So it's like, I want to be perfect, but we all know one thing's for sure is none of us are, but that's what makes it fun, is that we get to always have.
It's the pursuit of perfection that we're never going to achieve.
No, but be okay with that. Be okay with that, but understand that. But it's the chase that makes it great.
Yeah. Right? Are you better today? Like that's the deal. Did you learn something? Are you making progress? Are you closer to it today?
That is what mentorship brings. And now that once you get some experience, then you start to understand it a little bit more. But before you have that experience, that's why mentorship comes into play, my friends, and why we ask that question. Yeah. And I know that's something that Lou drives into too.
It's huge to be able to have people to pull from that don't even know that they sowed the seeds out there that turned into growth inside of your own personal life.
That's right.
And that's why it's so important that people rise up to just release the good that's in them and the victories that they have, right? We are made overcomers by the words of our testimony. And when we have something to testify about, we do that, and somebody else attaches faith to that, but that's a seed. That testimony is a seed that you can then take, water it, allow it to bring growth inside of your own life. And this is something that is so critical about Bruin Solutions, about growing a community that has to continuously dig a little bit deeper, go a little bit further.
That's right.
Deal with some of the hard stuff, because it's not always pretty. The thing is, we didn't get here because it was pretty. We got here in a lot of cases because we had a big mess to clean up, right? Somebody needed something helped out with, right? Something needed to be fixed. Let's be real, car guys and car gals, a majority of the time when we communicate with our customers, it's because they got a problem. Their car's broke or they don't like the one they got, okay? And there needs to be a change. And so when we bring a joyous, excited persona to their bad news, we're bringing great news to hard situations. And it's not always good to see the great in the darkness unless somebody is pointing to it. And that's what solutionaries do. But that's what you have to be able to do to be successful in this industry, is be able to point to the solution, point through that, even when you take it on the chin, even when it's hard, even when sometimes you're heartbroken, and you still pursue, you still push. And this is why people like the Cavenders are blessed to have somebody like you that are resilient enough.
That's right.
For them to pour into, for you to be able to push forward that heartbeat of what it is that they have themselves as well. But with that comes, again, some of those scars, some of those injuries that you're then stronger because of. But for you, what has been one of the hardest lessons you've had to go through to get to where it is that you are now?
Yeah, man. You know, that's there's so many. So that's a tough one. There's a lot, and
it's a hard one, isn't it?
It is. And you know, I think more than anything, I focus on my opportunities more than anything. We have a great month. I'll celebrate for about 10 minutes, and then the work continues, and you look at how that month could have been better, what else you could have done. And I think really for me, one of the bigger lessons really it's been leadership. And it was I led a lot out of selfishness in the beginning. It was that climb to see what I could achieve, and that climb to see how much money I could make. And with that focus, there's things and ways I treated employees and situations they dealt with that I didn't make any easier, because I was focused on me and what I was achieving. Like, oh, well, they're successful too. Well, then you really realize, you know, what is that lasting impact? It's not going to be the money. It's going to be the culture. It's going to be how you treated people. It's going to be how you changed their lives, how the situations and the guidance you gave them, how they changed people's lives, and that trickle effect. And you know, their great grandkids talking about what they came from and what they achieved and that legacy. And so, you know, one of the hardest lessons, you think about it, I was in that spot at 25 of really going through maturity and really changing a lot as a person. And so that was one of the harder lessons, was that focus, that the money and all that, you know, the reason that we do these jobs, let's be clear, there's a lot of financial opportunity, or I would probably, I don't know that I couldn't do anything that I work 9 to 5. I'd be too bored. But you think about
yeah, I hear you on that.
We miss out on a lot of stuff. But you can't focus on the money. That's a side effect. It's a side effect of what you're doing. So you have to shift and really think about, you know, what is your opportunity? How can this community be a better place? How can this dealership be a better place? How can we change things and that ability we have? And you really start to learn how to lead when you focus on just being a better person, inspiring people, you know. And I know that was one of the things then that all of a sudden, every time a dealership in our group needed a promotion, a finance manager, sales manager, they were pulling from my sales team, from people that had no car experience. So we were hiring. At one point, there were in 3-year period, there were 13 managers throughout the organization. Every store had somebody that we had hired as a salesperson in a management position. And, you know,
wow,
that's
awesome.
What I started learning is, how can I develop these guys? How can I get in? It sucks to lose a 30 car guy from your store to go do something else, but keeping them is the selfish move. Yeah. When you hired them, you told them about these opportunities, so you got to get them there. And then here's that opportunity to bring someone else and develop it. And It's a never ending thing. So I think for me, the
facts.
hardest lesson has been the focus on, man, just being a good person and having the focus on the right intentions to change things, to do all that. And yes, financial and other things come with it, but that's not the memorable part. You know, it's just that comes and goes. And yeah, that was a hard one for me. Took some time, took a lot of time, and I'm still working on it.
Well, we're always going to be working on it, and that's great wisdom, brother. So glad. I mean, you nailed that. You smashed that. That was awesome, because you have to dig into where it was that usually for most of us, the hardest lesson is a lesson inside of maturity. It's us being able to make a shift that sometimes only time can fix. Like, wait a second, hold on, I need to now see this different. I need to mature past a different point. Maybe I need to grow my beard out before I tackle this problem, right? Whatever the case is, there has to be a level of maturity that occurs in order for you to then say, okay, I kind of learned that the hard way, but man, I don't know if I would have learned it any other way. You know what I mean? Because that's what I've seen. That's what I was shown, right? That's the difference between one generation to the next, right? That then has to shift it and say, wait a minute, I can't, if the next generation doesn't even like the same food as the old generation, then I better start cooking something different.
Exactly.
Right? I better start shifting how I approach this. And I love the wisdom that's on that, brother. You just killed it. Come on now.
Dude, I mean,
hard.
Yeah, no kidding. You know, well, you know, like he said, through your experience and through the opportunities you've had, you know, you could see, and what I love is that lesson learned, you know, being able to understand that the honor part, like when they leave, that's part of your legacy in a way, right? But here's the funny thing, just like you might come back. You might end up being back there. You might work side by side one day, right? And when you do, that's even a bigger honor, and that's even more fun, right? I've been able to do that with people in my career in the last 20 years. I know Lou has done the same thing, and I know that it's probably going to happen again. Somehow, some way, I'm going to end up working with some of the people that I've worked with in the past, right? And I can't wait for that day, and I can't wait to see some of the people that I trained that 15 years ago that I worked with that I'm going to meet that are going to be running stores, you know, that I know a bunch of them that are doing things like that now. It's amazing to see that, you know, see that happen. But you know, along the way, we've also had some great rewards. And a lot of times it kind of leans towards that a little bit, you know. The great rewards that we find inside of this industry, inside your career, brother. I know you've had a few things happen to you that have probably been just like, wow. What do you think has been the greatest reward up to this point in your career?
You know, again, that's a tough one because it's not really an area I focus on too much. I try to look at the opportunity, but you know, there's been some great things. We've broken records. I've been, you know, top performer every time I'm an F&I or as a sales manager and grown departments and done all that. But again, I think it comes back to the promotions and the development of people. I think that is it's the most rewarding thing is you interview somebody who's barely getting by, who's living paycheck to paycheck, and fast forward, you know, months, years, or whatever later, how different their life is. They're buying their first house, or they were a 500 credit score and now they're a 700 credit score, or, you know, they were making, you know, $2,000-3,000 a month and now they're making 6+ figures. And, you know, just really seeing their journey in life. That's it, man. There's no bigger reward than that, because you think about it, that's what we want for everybody. That's what we want for ourselves. That's what we want for everyone else, is just that journey to push the envelope and to open their eyes. And then when you do that, they start pushing you. And so, you know, I think that's really the thing. To me, it's not going to come down to any awards or anything that I've got. Sure, there's things I'm proud of with that, but those don't mean as much, you know, because these other things are everlasting, and these lessons people learn and they're going to share them, and it's generational, and it just keeps going. The plaques and the things that I have, they'll be forgotten about. But the lessons these people teach their kids, and they teach their kids, and you go home and you share this with your wife, and you start to become, you know, friends with their family and really know who they are, and just see their kids grow up. Man, it's insane. And know that maybe you're part of the reason that family is going to Disney this year, or going to Jamaica, or paid off their house, or whatever it might be, knowing that you played, even if it's 1% influence, that's the reward.
Oh man, you know, that's very much so, you know, and I feel that, you know, but at the same time, you know, what's so really cool, and this is what's so beautiful about that relationship with your employees and people that you work with, is that they're also the reason why you were able to go to Disney World with your family.
Exactly.
Yes.
You know, and that's it's one hand shakes the other. It's called a fair deal, and it's called relationships. And that's what this whole world is. It's driven by that. And that's why it's a shame that so many dealers out there drop the ball on the relationship side with their clients. When you build relationships, you will find that inside, when you build it with your teammates, it builds into your relationships with your customers, which turns into community, which turns into them bringing everybody that they feel like is relationship to them to you, because they want to feed everybody in that same pipeline. Hey, you have bad experience at other stores. Guess what? Go here. You got to come see Zach. Zach is the one. Zach Attack. Let's go. Right. You know,
and that's the thing. I think even if you're in this business and you're a manager, you know, like even a small thing, I was talking to some of my friends yesterday. We were trying to plan something out for July, August or whatever. And they're like, oh man, I don't know my days off. And I was like, you know, it's the funniest thing because I've lived that life and I've been there and I hated it. Right. You put your vacation request on your manager's desk and you'd want to buy flights. And then by the time it gets approved, those flights aren't available or whatever.
Sure.
And one of the small things we've done here is, we just have a live Excel document that's out through, I believe, August, September at this point, where everyone knows their days off. You know, they can plan their stuff. They can look for PTO. They can do that because I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to plan my stuff and be gone and do the things, and they need to as well. But a lot of places make that stressful. It really,
don't they?
Hate asking for vacation.
So, and they give you grief when you ask for it.
Yeah.
When you need a day, you know, like, listen, you know, here in about 2, especially even when they give you notice, hey, here in about like next month on this date, is there a way that I can use this because, you might switch your day off or something? I don't know. You know, and it's like, why even act like that? You know, it's we do it as leaders all the time. We talk to the other manager, hey man, I'm gonna be off next week. You know, we do it. But yet we don't let our employees, why we think we earn something.
Right.
Dude, yeah, we worked hard. We got to our positions, but listen, you have to pass that down. When you have that culture of understanding, they're going to want to work.
Yeah.
It's when you do that, it's like, it makes them go, you know, I don't even really want to be here.
Well, and then, you know,
somewhere.
It contradicts with what the message is. Like Cavender, our PTO is amazing. You can get to 20 days PTO a year. It's insane. After 5 years, like best PTO.
No wonder Joshua left to go there.
Hey,
I'm gone. I love Seguin, but hey, let's go Cavender.
Man, it is. You got to think your message and how you operate has to be consistent with the culture and the things you think about it. Someone interviews, and that's one of the first things I tell them and we talk about. But then, for 6 months later, they go to use it. Are you going to give them a hard time? Like what's the deal? So
you should encourage it. Where are you going to go? You're going to have some fun. I hope you have a great time.
Exactly.
One of the first discovery questions that we have with new solutionaries across the country, you all recognize it, those of you that have been asked it and have told us before, is where would you go on vacation? Where is it that you would go?
If money was no object.
If it didn't matter, where would you go?
Where would you go?
And even push it to the point of, at the next sales meeting, we want everybody to show up with their $2,000 trip and what button needs to be pushed in order to order that trip for you if you win this spiff. We want you to be encouraged to be looking into you having that recharge, that excitement time. For us as sales managers and sales pros, because we were performers as sales professionals, you know the deal out there. We kind of made our flow, our schedule. If we wanted to take the time, we would make sure the money was made when we left, when we came back. Everybody knew we were going to still hit our numbers. So take your time, go do your thing. But there was a culture where people did make it hard on each other. But we were trying to reestablish this idea of, we want you to look forward to this time you're going to take off, the whole time you're plugging and you're going, because we're going to make sure that that's your motivator to get you going to the next level. We don't just talk about focus, right? We want them focused on a why. On their why. And if their why is they want to take their wife someplace that their wife has never gone, cool. We would literally ask and shout out to Tyler Ramsey. Ask Tyler Ramsey if we would ask wives, where is it that you're going to go? Where is it that you're going to book your vacation? And then when we get to sit there, and like you're saying, brother, when we get to sit there with our spouse and say, babe, look at this. Tyler Ramsey's over here on this tropical vacation, eating food that we would never close him on if he was here with us. You know what I mean? And before we ever met, he was doing a job that he was tired of, and wanted to give himself a shot, and nobody would give him a shot in anything related to this kind of business. But he showed up with enthusiasm, and he said, I'll do what you tell me to do. And he did it and began winning plaques and trying new foods and going new places that he never dreamt of before. All because somebody believed in him. He believed in himself. And we did challenge him to say, where do you want to go? This business can help you go there. And daggone it, you better go do it. And because we've all seen the salespeople that it's like, dude, take a stinking day off. Okay?
Oh man, yeah, it is. You've got to push. You got to push to do it with some of them. And I think, to that point, one of the things that I started doing a while back, and we did it this year here as well, is when we did our annual goals with the salespeople, always make it a point that the last category on there is something you want to accomplish outside of work.
Yes.
For some people, it was remodel my house, or it was this vacation, or it was pay for this car, or it was whatever. Because you have to think about it. They're not going to go home and say, hey, Zach really wants me to sell 20 cars this month, so I really got to do it. That's not the motivator. The motivator is, babe, we need this much money to be able to do this. And when you know that, and you're like, all right, man, hey, have you booked your trip yet? Have you bought those flights to the Maldives? Like, what have you done? You got the bungalow for her. Are you doing the upgrade? What are you doing? Have you done it? That's that motivator to push and to do the stuff that the task that, let's face it, no one wants to sit back and make phone calls and do the follow-up and do all that stuff. It's tough. But when you have a reason to do it, you push through, you get through the grind.
That's when the wife's calling and saying, how you doing on that contest to go to Hawaii?
Exactly.
That's a whole different question, man. That's a different motivator. Dude, you know what I mean? Babe, I'm on it right now. I'm making my calls right now.
When the customers are in, man, I'm asking the wife everything, right? Because we know the decision maker and the spouse. So that's my deal. We're going to stir up the spouse at home. Like, hey, I don't know if you know this, but Allie's only got 3 cars out, so. We're going to motivate them way more than I ever could.
Amen to that. You know what I mean? Like, that's something, that's facts. I never liked coming home and saying, how was your day? I didn't sell anything. Really? Oh, well, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah. Exactly.
It was always better to say, I moved a couple today.
Exactly.
Oh, you did such a good job. Yeah, I love that. So we need those forces. We also got to be able to understand how to motivate our people, and sometimes we're not a great motivators. Their spouses are. Maybe their mom. Young salespeople, maybe their mama is the one, right?
And it's experiences. I think that's the thing, right? That's something I learned in life. I've had the Rolexes. I've done all of that stuff that a lot of us do, and some people love it. But, man, it's the experience. It's to the point now, like, if I go on vacation, usually I'll get the cheaper room, and I'll spend all my money on excursions or
bingo.
Exactly.
You got to do those things for your employees.
Got to. You're right. Awesome. You're so right, my friend. And that's exactly why we were excited to have you on the show. And you know what, Eric Barbosa, shout out to you. You were right on the money. He is definitely one of those people that you get on the show and he just drops tons of dimes, tons of gems for people to pick up and take home with them, man. I tell you, if you were watching the show live, we appreciate you. If you're watching this on the replay, make sure that you go out and you reach out to this man. You let him know. Thank you for sharing some great stuff. Yeah. Folks, he's on Facebook. Listen, there's his Facebook right there. He's also got an amazing, easy email for you guys to remember. Right there. I mean, come on now. Send him an email. Send him, if you have any questions, if you're inspired by him, tell him thank you. If you have questions, if you want to get a job at Cavender, reach out to him. He's somebody that definitely knows some spots. I'm sure that he can help you out. But he definitely, if you're looking for a nice vehicle, it's the one right here. He's got Chevys
that's the
all
most
day
fun
long.
part.
Yeah.
We'll deliver anywhere in the United States. I'm not going to charge you for it. Right. No last minute, no surprise add-ons. Price you see online is transparent. Every decision we make from the customer's perspective, every one of them.
I believe that, no doubt. And that is what's going on over there at Cavender Auto. And I'm going to tell you, it all starts with leadership. The owners, shout outs to all the Cavender family, phenomenal group of people doing some things. And then everybody in that executive leadership to management, all the way down to the sales floor, to the cleanup departments, to anyone who has anything to do with that auto group. Shout out to all. You guys are crushing it out there. But Zach, man, thank you for representing the group, but representing yourself so well. Representing the automotive industry ultimately is why we had you on the show. And you're representing it strong, bro. So keep sharing that light.
So strong, in fact, that you get the stamp of being 100%
CGC approved. That's
right, everybody. 100%.
Y'all gonna mail the stamp or what? Because I'm gonna start stamping it on everything.
Come on, that's CGC right. Approved. Let's go, everybody. But we do know that we only brew with the best. And today we did no less. As a matter of fact, we have increased the quality of the Car Guy coffee that we're brewing inside of this cafe and in this show. And Zac Hale from Cavender Auto has definitely taken us to the next level. If you've enjoyed the show, make sure that you share it around. Tag a car guy, tag a car gal, but make sure that you do blow up Zac and let him know that you appreciate the wisdom that he has dropped on the mic, because folks, it is definitely very, very important that you listen to the perspective of those that are doing the work like our friend Zac. I am Lou Ramirez, the Car Guy.
And I'm Frelin Arts, the subprime hero.
And you've been brewing solutions on the Car Guy Coffee Podcast with the one,
the only Zac Hale.
We'll see you later, Zac, but not before we say goodbye with a big loud Forgive, Focus, Fly on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Forgive. Focus. Fly. And keep growing. Keep growing.
We'll see y'all soon. We're out.